say now to we na ekono dwumadi de na ekese e manifesto launch no ekoso e na omampanya be de chire so ne central fosia e ehun kitawdi ne entimi nkosa akwada be obetutu nsre ne abasa kakra na ansa ne mpanyfo e din kitawdi beto aso ane quickly say no ameka say me akonya no ba say de yetena say e criticize the politician atoni nka ho said ye sidi mpanyfo tutu ye said ye susu senkeso ye no yenso yen centrofo ni be nya akwanse nkubu sansembisa no nsembisa na Ghana fo hwehwe afiri ye ho no ane ne kubusa ya na wonye centronia julie course no onso ho kwanse otimika bi o yes na yenfa nkitawdi nhyase owa Benjamin Emmanuel Efson a senior journalist and a poster yani mi nkomo kakra say managing editor Edema Daily despite the Bokrata no. Uncle Banas looking came on.
Oh, good afternoon, Jamina, but I'm out to say.
Yamu Gusufi and Kakra.
Good.
Now swear.
Yamina, the Yamu.
Nobody, I say. Now say, what take a crana?
Oh, it's like bad, your phone, the Juma.
Yes. Yes. There's a expected post now. The last 2 months are now a month before elections.
About 2 weeks to elections.
2 weeks to elections. Okay. Okay. Parties in the manifesto are so far. They play a role, Anna.
Party come manifesto.
Hot 93.9.
Agya Wusu. Send your swing voters. Some swing voters are. It says woman MPP, NDC. Woman to kase. Bombs one better my party because of one or more. Woman
93.9.
It is a window manifesto about.
Hot 93.9.
Between now and that time, you better about at least you better 3 months.
Hot 93.9.
Into your cafe, and I want some to car, and I want better so.
Hot 93.9.
The announce in the manifesto now, Sabro Modiabano, yeah.
Hot 93.9.
Now, as a Akonya Sunkubia Ba started the former president, B. Kwano, and in Central Fushai. Amampanya Bedi Chiana said the running mate of the flag bearer of the MPP in Soso. Now Sunday and Akonya Central Fushai. Gitodi course no yɛnhwɛ in Central for Juma obibeka said the critical questions the Ghana for can the do man ni ade bra nya sampanyfo mienu ene omuhia no your assessment the na Ghana for hwe ni kobuzae
when you say the flag bearers you know definitely one more bar real say Bema OTC Oba Wareno. Obaka near there. But between now in the voting, the flag bearer cannot be everywhere. In Pimpinifua, and now one more bomb flag bearer. It is almost around to try and push the agenda. It is now and then, we say some leading members of the two parties, will go and say certain things which will be opposite what the flag bearers have said. And not never man will say, oh, But it flagged by some more kind of
Hot 93.9.
and the personal assistant. And now, Pinibia what party, you know. Yes, sir. No one more do. Into the two of them, no. One more presenting the purpose,
Hot.
but they cannot be everywhere to explain it. Into between now and at least end of November, no, maybe the impact of the manifestos
Hot.
on the swing voter, whether swing voter and baby they are now on Jimbe.
Okay. Between now, but yeah, see also the engagements are directly with the press because obi oha na bia nasem ehye dada baby adan ko benya Dr. Biom bia. First of all, the kwan mo fa so the invite minim say bia mo nkasa kra no whether you are invited na mo decline here and answer say when nya akonya ko e nsem bisa no net saying.
So I think that the questions were broad. The questions reflected what many of Nkofua I think that the questions were good. A lot of people watched it. Between now and November, no, na month for Baja, there's a flag bearer and say, Oba, the party, son, one bearer. If they are an assistant to be, local baby 3 weeks' time, they are back opposite your car, you know, into when you are there, and no problem, a week's after. Between now and voting day, no. I mean, here.
Okay. But as a former president, a challenge was true and say on in power in central for Dr. Biom in central for Asia. On in central for Asia. Say, nation be saying cause why not vote as well.
Many people will watch. If they go around, so one more expound, so one more explaining, one more manifesto, and catch attention to share. What would you think?
Hot 93.9.
The next 3 months after the launching of manifestos, you know, and the business whether voters not just and now one more thing. It is too early to say
93.9.
how the manifesto will impact on voting.
Okay. Share Dr. Biom in central for Anu Yen in Sembisano. Who say on the part of the press, maybe Siku fans Kakrebi Bermana Sebia. As a Yashada in some did you see it that way, or these were genuine questions? I who said the journalist, of course, Abu Sasim.
It was live. It was not recorded and edited and shown to the public. So I think we should for almost 5 hours. Genuine, intelligent questions were asked.
I say it was wrong to seize and answer to get said a leader said they'll say honest said will be here especially in terms of corruption answers near there by anyway where are they said to us and aspirants in press in engagement no.
Oh, you can't force an aspirant
3.9.
He may be using he may be giving manifestos once in a while. Maybe also put match and a half 5 hours, 4 hours with you. Obaka, so you there are many ways how to go.
93.9.
There's no set formula. So we can also yes sir.
Okay. But Sakonya ne bansu nanka omani ebe kwa ya na se bishi ase ya. I think say Ghana afobe hu a lot ana.
Oh, it is 3 months to come. 3 months to come.
Okay. Okay. But I say now, okay, 2 weeks before elections, and I post in the babano. You better about your post no so here pa.
Oh, the time they go and my friend.
Okay. That's it. That's it. Alright, Benjamin Emmanuel Lefson, a senior journalist, of course, a poster, and we are on a back end. So I don't say yes, and some say a course on central phone. Questions in the air so modetono, and some bisano, the so busano busai. Na a free nekosi election 2024, December 7 hono, a ho, and a seminankasa, or no ankasa suppose no, a baba. 2 weeks to elections. Say o party arena post ne baba be kire say yes o party arena o party lusu so a post ne be saba say o party lusu na de chie yase atese nra yenuanom central phone ni be say o central phone kwae no obia konya 20,000 Ghana cedis
Hot 93.9
20,000 Ghana cedis 20k whatever but ye to da bia Yesu ni kasem central for kuma central ni bia okuma ko dwumedi ase na ye command sorry a sorry ye dey solid central ni solid the obedi ni solid na 20,000 Ghana cedis no efiri ni 20k adai 20k adai
Hot 93.9
manhana nkrofo akodan nkrofo kadendende o
93.9
as a kuma the cancer improvement you know you can without proof 20,000 wow ubia no ubia nyasem ubia no ubia nyasem 20,000 bia nko ba bia
3.9
baby crocra de ne say course ne ho ne course baby I say course no enye ho a nti wan ko bi o say 20,000 baby aka say course class so ensa anye ho a mumia hu kuma na moye den MPP ni NDC ye to aba ni mu ba ko na berry ni se da bia meka election 2024 ye den ye mu ba ko na berry ni ba ko do ba ni bia no se wudi na temu se wani na temu ware ni ensesa hu
93.9
Ghana obia ni wa be catch himself person win elections are just wudi do obi atem ebia wo yes ana wa send for vote menye sa de alboa
Hot 93.9
yes na press engagement no opim say empanifo a obo modern kotai the flag bearer of the MPP no emu bi ha ye no mbedi nkomo we say ofake na otidwuma di na se 24/7 actually say question bi oho na say bi a wodi se obi amusa time no so aka kire say Agya Wusu musia Dr. Biom kaise musan ABCD ba mi dem say question pa na say yibusa na asembisa na say oyi no ba ko ye me ba bi anan question da pa ye so o true phone and also in senior journalist of course obi a come first busa no question o say that precede the vice president and what they want to say talk so you liar what did you say one come straight now bofu yes
Hot 93.9
corruption ebusa ho asem ba bia anga ntie bia wo da obehia no na no me hu se wo finfam dwumfo ma na odwumnam se dwumfo ma mon kamasem Dr. Biom aba no mon hweso kamasem e na mon ni twa photo ye doc na Kingsley Mata Japan and a friend of Ake where UK branch chairman of the MPP we are coming over yes mofa we man why woman link na only akwaba
yeah na mo ti say
na mo so here unso e
onyame ti ase
e do bad ase we said now why while there were press engagement na say
no kroni na ano hye ko Jesus papa
ko yi
onyame e kan ye ho e ma Yoruba wo mi a kire se wo ye be mamu a ma Ghana for o hwe chinyejia na ebinom je no ni ade a
so ntimi ni central finish
o tumu se nra na no na akono keke
na mu skasa nsentoni ba ko bia 20k
se ne wa woni tua se ne mukro mu ha isitie me free ha de na so makoda ne baabi this year ma ya ko kakra wa nti wano ezo bi ati so ro di bia bom o fa no wodi o ko baabi abaza woni akan ko aso di ko eburu mbagye di na on the musa ayo no
20,000 Ghana cedis per head.
Sometimes we tibia na mo ya kakra na o mo awo de nipa dodo mo begu
yes
na obia na hifa kra no mo discard mamo ene say wo ko bi unya say
o say me they have me say asem na baby kra nipa na report say e course no kra anye ho a baby ko try na ho ye baby aba program na ho ye
enye yi moving
Hot 93.9
and anya moving pick hotel na
but you say Kempiski
well na me kan se mo hano obia woni o
yes Kempiski Kempiski so yan ko hon ko ye program ya so the question is abia no wa mo bimpo mo be ka asem no
ya na do baby so anya se bia wa ma bi nti se nipa kro na o kan sa asem we nti wonim pa se hanan kofo ko e
sa
wo dia adwene bi na atu nkofo ti
no ba ukotio ase ukonu street say Kempiski na mo ko e 20 adia no so kra ntiki ananye se bia
9.
also obi okọ ebia na odo person ni nya problem no fa ho obesa akire the stupidity whatever sorry for the
it's quite unfortunate say kuma o man we mu sisi ano
yes
baby o redu no ya na ye me ya say nipa binum the almost selfish interest almost self-centered agenda enya onu no de and say o man shit but people like this are the people who are not maybe now almost a tonumbi edema even
because the politician continue to be a politician.
The question is yes ye bi national cathedral ya no kra no se obi ko so a cement so they ko
quite unfortunate
so what is
report wa de nimpo se bibia personal report at least when you share kra as a journalist when you anything right kra de baby ade ne course the venue kra de at least you can be right
and so the name Kempiski is very expensive and or try to say obeka say kra ha no mu kotina ye na that kind of a mindset is more like say
but na nkoso
yeah, but that's the point do you say onim say anya ho na koso onim
Hot 93
anya say onim
tell me here alright
yay
wo say wo mu di sikari na no list no
because you when you try no and na say me share no Biom ne page in terms of omo wiye no omo ba yi your friends e miracle bomb pa ye wiye ya Biom share no omo le feel dey omo so mo mo ba na mo go table no mo go sign na mo go bia nkoje
you see listen
3.9
Messi araho sama course me say we sign with you envelope na sikari show 20,000 Ghana cedis no ye TM put on you who say 20,000 we are saying show no assign Ghana is a for me am mafo and you see anytime you have a corrupt society and one institution no betumi carry corruption in our society that is broadcasting and journalism
93.9
who could track in Kempiski in less than 3 hours 4 hours or whatever hours you spend we about 20,000 200 million I am saying it presenters I want Ghana ham ko na person bia no nyasem and I am ready for you and your stupidity and your nonsense and your corrupt attitude.
Hot 93.9
What could 20,000 200 million we only say Africa where my
I would say
What say? We are seeing you put 20,000, 200 cities for corner. Yet, TM put on you say 20,000. We are saying, I should know what saying. Ghana is a trophy for me, I'm a fool. Say, Mafia, I was some course on the say. What say would you and the police can show 20,000 Ghana cities? Yet, TM put on you say 20,000. We are saying, I should know what saying.
Why? Baby annual and throw. On records, a troke a pa. Baby, all casa are no course of crying no crack. Kempiski, and no hot neck Kempiski, Emma, a Dr. Bamiane press, Cosia, and Yawa. You do not say, do no yam, do cry, Nefabium. Can you pray? Giddy uncle for war, Owens and Tribune, Kakraka crappy pow. Can you so full through her and send trade? Share assembly to your seat. Bebre is a some Quebec police station crown. We believe say and central for the Chinya Buano. I won't share said in Crofosi troopy in radio stations. I do Massam Koya.
Hot 93.9.
I feel the basic Adiano crowd, the DMU Kakra, baby Adiano course of crown.
93.9.
Baby Adiano course, you so no, walk envelope course or was him. Biaja, no, I say. Ba 20K.
Hot 93.9.
Bufia, miracle boom, say. Wakajina Fabra. Say, no crepa. Wana okobino. Uditi say, with no more for count. One flip no famra. Nfa, wenka simple any. Nenka, what they are two. Envelope the mammy. I didn't know we. Anasa room Yahanas. Investigations on corruption. Envelope no de my
Hot 93.9.
I'm so mad yen na ye de MPP ni NDC ba ko ba wini election 2024, that's all. Obi attend the deal when you since central for okrum nyina anya correct ba ko pene ye.
Hot 93.9.
Krum na se wa ha wana ebeje bribe. When in your bribe, Nagani Ghana ha one in some
Hot 93.9.
20K Bianco so baby, Kempeski Bianco so Mumra Biom Nentrone Yadoson. Why?
93.9.
And you
Hot 93.9.
And Trona Dawson to Dominia sa na say Kuma Utimi cancer man wa fa wedi kwa. O cancer na kwa no fa wedi kan kwa na
borrow $32 million to build a factory. By the time the factory is finished and installed and is commissioned, 2-3 months after evaluation puts it not the value at not more than $15 to $16 million. Can you imagine
93.9.
First time I stepped into the Ministry of Trade and Industry, knowing how controversial this Commander factory was, I decided that, look, I believe in continuity in government. So if the NDC has already gone through a process of
Hot 93.9.
there's no problem. Let me invite that person to come and take over the factory. I don't need to start a new process because we want to bring in a new person. I invited the gentleman who won the bid. This was just 2 months before
Hot 93.9.
the NDC left office. 2 months before. Remember, the factory itself was commissioned. Time they made an effort, it went through a process of competitive bidding. The man who won the bid, when I invited him to come and take over the factory, he said, the amount of money that I bid for, it was just for bidding purposes. The factory does not deserve that amount of money you're asking for. So he said he's not going to pay. He's not interested in. Can you imagine giving an opportunity to somebody who has won a different party? He says he will not touch it. That is why we initiated another round of looking for investors. And everything went through Parliament, through Cabinet, every single thing. We went through Cabinet. All the people who bid for that none of them put it more than $15 million. This for $35 million. In fact, a new one. Now, there was a Ghanaian who bid about 20 million for it. I called the person, come and take it. The man was running away.
3.9.
People were bidding $10 million for this. So I again called the transaction advisor. I said, what is happening? What is this discrepancy?
93.9.
You borrowed 32 million, now
Hot 93.9. Hot 93.9.
This for the side of watching from Metro TV. Mr. Vice President, you will remember this quote: if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rates will expose you. And as at the time you were making this statement, a dollar to CD was 3 cedis and above, or about 3 cedis, 4 cedis, right? Thank you. That to a cedi is 15 Ghana cedis, about 15 Ghana cedis. Okay, over 15 Ghana cedis. Thank you. How do I explain this to my mother, a cocoa seller, that in 2014 the fundamentals were weak? In 2024, where a dollar is now 15 cedis, the fundamentals are not weak, but the prices of goods and services are high today. Thank you.
Other question, which is tonight's one Vanessa was asking, if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you, which is a truism. It was true then, and it's still true today. It's an economic truism that once the fundamentals weaken, you will see the impact on the exchange rate fundamentally. And when we talk about many of these fundamentals, you're talking about the GDP growth rate, you're talking about the fiscal balance, you're talking about the exchange, the reserves, level of the reserves that you have, inflation, and so on. When we came into office, during the first term before we hit COVID, between 2017 and 2019, you saw the fundamentals pretty much strengthening.
Okay. The fundamentals, no. Na nsimbisa unya direct bia no you know so anya satisfied with it and they no answers out the my so over my into so hanafe yehwe na kwanya ba say o monitor US elections ne kakra o monitor pa
very well
oba na o ya de
koyi kamara e boduma o de nhihye ya adwuma o moye any or not so many ideas I new version of those oba obetimi e dia ba beto so wodi ni nyina e gudwa amanfo tie wo mo edu na dekora me tisi ne no sa na me hwe na me follow papa. Election is me personally, I don't know, for some reason I love election years. It brings excitement into the system. I come the ekrana it mean me need me je kakra na
elections
if of course, yeah. And because you see election is the idea and nuna ye de e kire oman a ye womu no ye ginabre say nia otis baba papa, but one or two things we want to tie and the many the America de na chipa and Ghana de zu de am so many na team dem 24/7.
Okay. But one kasa would general the course war with the press no. Now doubt to say no maybe I should have come on board the armor. And I said the bold decision I said the Central Force general now so a bizarre one no.
No correct mama chia MPP UK me executives I no more here adwuma nyina me chapter chairpersons and executives and all the members na menchia nyanum so wa manone campaign ya tunsasa baby e bekase bia especially in teach myself me no mo kasa advice say obia momodin say ye betimi kura fa telephone say ntimi ma meto abani mi kura be frɛ abusuafo na yen say kana broche na yepese nyame nya adom na in a long term Ghana sunsan kabino free na omuntimi ni omobusuafo nso so eni nkomo na omuntimi encourage wo na omo make decision a papa eti ma menchia wo na menchia wo omutie ye ne wo Ghana ha ani wiase afa na nyina ani wo mo hwe nso so wo montinta kesi Facebook so yes Minya something I bisa question B and we followed when I was in UK he was championing it with regards to the scholarship secretariat issues and to make ranya no na me person me komu a me person me bisa yemia Captain Smart say and to mo gye sa 20,000 Ghana cedis na something no comment on himself on this particular statement and he said why do you have to say utimi egum panimfo a kwame dinkra no mu ni ade panimfo kukudam a wo mu di amanyo semochi wo mayimu ni
so omunya ya mamboyfo
say ade a sebe etrewo say I say nipa o te me kana say maka say mi say eni me what am you so answer what did so because nanka wo beto abu manfa now question a very simple question say me won say na ade a na ehu ana say na ti say ma me nyina wa fidie so na me mo Yoruba omi abaso I have never seen you say that 4 hours me bo akatre me Trump ntina say 1 hour e ma yemisa no questions at media level that I can't see anyone. But this man was so prepared, and I think say, at the end of the year, it was a debate in our friend John Dramani Mama say, I was so man. And now no more says, and idea or need me in net platform, so I'm sure say could be uncle Bessoria P. Because now he now questions no more be sent. Now no the power. Questions upon one of them. I've read through where Bukram Kachom's adding. Didn't you people plan this? And he did it so beautifully and exceedingly well. Now, only Ghana for Keke in the Dean Komo. Only Ghana for Kukudamina and Kuala and Peninfo, school for, university for, any middle class and
AK-47. Suddenly media encounter I think I speak like AK-47. Suddenly media encounter I think
one share or John Dramani Mahama ni media encounter na one ribi so kasata said okra AK-47 de boom no but about me nim the all continue and so by force because on India no
I grow on any so I grow on any so too much as I say Timi any deal mesre no on Timi and comporting yourself as a statesman kakra obi a wodi assemblyman ya wo wato political home decision making home wodi assemblyman wabaye parliamentarian wabaye flag bearer I mean running mate wabaye vice president wabaye flag bearer wabaye president was I be president him asa baye she ye pobia wonya emfaso e wo Ghana so a sese ka ye chini muse ya enema sese soni gu fom sese eye akwala krampo tomu a sese ne ho tono ase Yesu Kristo moja ni bisa ohun de meche no sese ka wo wispakra gu ya sumu a sese ka ye direction speak eye direction bi e de imputoba e de satrayeba e de animonyam eba e de nipa yie die eba a statesman like who has now been a retired president who is supposed to receive dignitaries outside the country. As I don't want the fafa wim, I'm afraid you to the ta as a knockout. Akwalabia ni mami ato
Samuel deliver or no bra on pressure na kuko dra wonya yi nsem amono sa
because Boli Bamboy na do danko akufuado any Biomia development projects are ewo ho opa frɛ Boli Bamboy DC ne na ka che say onye account enfanchiro in the last 7.5 years. Yewa Mahama ne Boli Bamboy kura wanti man ye adekronti a odimirika na was sorry ya omu ye boom a oman planning na omu kokko launch omu campaign e wo northern part nenye bibia ntel they did not even plan opa follow ni omu koye ye na wo se obi die ye ta time o ti se omu ko fori bia tiam na ma me ne ye machine no ojai kasa. Did you see it? Omu ko fo na omu ne eye organizers na planning ye na o emra ye wa Mahama address omu enipo omu kasa ye nyina me say that study omu Atufosin was the only person who to me issue the very platform that has a recognition say me address me mampani dada na machia me running mate na machia we money ne running mate din man akwaba
Hot 93.9.
I was monitoring it so keenly. One of the most disorganized campaign launch mahu wọ́n sẹ yẹ wọ́n Biomia adusem ama enya osori a okosi sakase si ho se me basen kofo na mumadi mati natural organic crowd every single constituency when you're going from one constituency from a sim to another constituency you're talking about mileage but everywhere okoye bia Ghana for the money di na chi ye we saw it and we saw a national one okoye ya a year or more campaign launch.
Hot 93.9.
Because not they talk say you were Biomia fa esiemu no dodo nti yanko kai ko sinne chinko ye bibi emfa enya adwuma enipa na di ye wa Biomia chi no de opa cheke enkra ha ya nwa Ablekuma South Ablekuma Central.
Hot 93.9.
The top people that were asking him tough questions no. So obi bisane de wie no ansa na obi bisane de a na omu ovia na omu nyina wafi omu ho se nipa no na ye bisane question na ye assignment say question as ye bisane but you can say boy ensem. But that is what happened naturally. It happened. They were even forgot themselves say na omu na ye in charge. That is what is happening. Instead of the dead goat syndrome no whereby a living goat syndrome and what sense of direction, because everybody was awake. It was not boring. It was so much educative. It was so insightful. The man spoke to Ghanaians about how he has foreseen how Ghana can be. And yeah, and ketenkete agrono kodio.
93.9.
Wankotom prekonkete oh. The man was talking about how how we live on a credit. Na ampami fun ye kutami ye credit. Na ye dia ma me 24 months. Say minchia ne nkakra. Etibeti ye fun ye kutami, but every month be etim kakra bi. Me ka amaja no abrochira me use me to indeed 3 years.
Hot 93.9.
2 years can do it. I bought it. I just paid a little to pay a down deposit. Dia kano ya dia mama say me ntwa na 5 years na me wie